All right, let's just dive right in. Today, we're tackling a universal panic that pretty much every language learner knows all too well. I'm talking about the sheer terror of real-life conversations. You know the drill, right? You study, you practice, you learn all the grammar rules, but then when you're actually standing face-to-face with a real human being, poof, everything just seems to evaporate. Well, don't worry, you are definitely not alone here. Today, we've got a very specific, hands-on workshop in this explainer to help you fix exactly that. Think about this simple 6-word phrase. So tell me about yourself. It's actually one of the hardest things to respond to in any language. The crazy part is you already know the vocabulary. You know perfectly well how to say your name, where you're from, what you like, but the absolute second a living, breathing person is standing in front of you just waiting for an answer, it causes a complete mental freeze. So, to get past this freeze, here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the conversational freeze, then look at the shadowing technique, cover some essential vocabulary, meet our characters Alex and Priya, and finally, it's your turn to shadow. We are going to tackle this entire problem together, step by step.
Starting off with part 1, the conversational freeze. Let's validate a very real frustration you might be feeling. You are likely getting totally stuck trying to literally translate words in your head right in the middle of speaking.
Because here's the core of the issue. You are perfectly fluent in your head, but completely frozen in real life. Honestly, it is entirely normal to imagine a conversation flawlessly when you're just alone in your room. But put yourself under the pressure of someone waiting for your answer. Suddenly you're wondering, wait, where do I start? Or what do I say to this specific person? Sometimes nothing comes out at all, or what does come out sounds absolutely nothing like that super confident version you had in your mind.
Which brings us to section 2, the shadowing technique. This is the absolute game changer. It's the core solution that's going to help you bypass that clunky mental translation phase and fix this roadblock once and for all.
So, what exactly is shadowing? Well, shadowing is speaking along with the speaker at the very same time. Notice I didn't say repeating after them. That's a huge distinction. The absolutely crucial point here is that you must speak simultaneously. By doing this, you're literally trading your mouth's muscle memory to produce natural English automatically. It makes you resilient, even under the intense pressure of a real conversation.
To make sure you're primed and ready, here are the exact steps we use. Step 1, learn vocabulary. Step 2, listen carefully to a conversation just to get a feel for it. And step 3, where the actual magic happens, we speak out loud together.
All right, section 3, essential everyday vocabulary. Before we jump in, we're going to cover the essential words you'll actually need to fully understand and shadow our upcoming practice dialogue. First up, we've got emotion and action verbs like to translate, to relax, and to promise, right alongside feelings like being nervous. But take a look at the word frustrating. It perfectly describes that exact feeling of forgetting words right in the middle of a sentence, simply because it's so difficult and annoying. We've all been there, right?
Now let's see how this builds out with everyday nouns. These are incredibly useful when you're talking about the basic fundamentals of your life. You know, where we live, where we work, how we spend our time. Words like hometown, dream job, free time, neighborhood, and colleague. Really, these are the fundamental building blocks of almost any introductory conversation you'll ever have.
And to wrap up our vocabulary prep, we have words about our daily routines. Think about eating out instead of cooking, ordering a pizza when you're just way too tired, or getting used to a brand new environment. These are those natural conversational bridges that actually make you sound like a local rather than, a textbook. Moving on to section 4, meet Alex and Priya. Let's set the scene for the dialogue you'll be working with today. I want you to imagine two strangers sitting next to each other, meeting for the very first time on their absolute first day of language school.
Let's take a quick look at our two characters side by side. On one side, we have Alex. He's from Sao Paulo, Brazil, works in an office doing a lot of writing and emails, and he's only been in the country for about 3 months. Now, on the other side is Priya. She's from Pune, India, currently working in a coffee shop, and she's been in the country for almost a year.
But here's the thing. Despite their very different backgrounds, they share a very common struggle. One of them actually admits, right now I feel like I translate everything in my head first. It is so slow. I think this really highlights that even people who are already living and working in an English-speaking environment face this exact same hurdle every single day.
To give you a bit of a map for their conversation so you can easily track the flow, here's what they actually discuss. They start out with their hometowns, Then they move into their work situations, share a bit about their family and pets, discuss their hobbies and food preferences, and finally, they finish up with their goals for learning English. Now, in a real shadowing exercise, your very first step is totally passive. You just listen closely. Get familiar with the rhythm. Seriously, do not try to speak yet. When you listen to a dialogue like Alex and Priya's, your only goal is just to absorb the details. You might notice little things, like Alex really missing his dog back home named Bolinia, or that Priya cooks Indian food like rice and lentils just to feel at home. It's all about getting comfortable with the target material first.
And that brings us to Section 5, your turn to shadow. This is it. This is the phase where the active learning and the real progress actually take place.
When you go to practice this on your own, you have to remember these golden rules. First, speak at the exact same time as the audio. Match the rhythm, match the speed, and absolutely most importantly, you must do it out loud. Whispering or just doing it in your head, that is simply not going to build the mouth muscle connection you need to break that conversational freeze.
When you're shadowing dialogues like this one, you'll actually find yourself voicing real, everyday narrative moments. You'll physically practice the words as Alex describes his struggle with colleagues talking way too fast in office meetings. You'll match Priya's tone as she talks about the amazing bread in her new city. By speaking these concepts out loud simultaneously, you're literally training your brain to deploy these exact structures automatically in your own life.
As you do this, I really want to offer you some enthusiastic encouragement, actually borrowing the exact supportive advice Alex and Priya share with each other. Keep going. The first months are hard, but it gets better, I promise. Think of it like this. Shadowing is a workout for your mouth, and just like any physical workout at the gym, the repetition is exactly where the strength is built.
So I want to leave you with one final provocative question. Will you try shadowing out loud before your next real-life conversation? Don't just let the English stay perfectly fluent, locked away inside your head. Put it into your mouth, match the speed, and turn it into a daily habit. Because honestly, that is where true, unshakable confidence is born. Thanks for joining me for this explainer today, and happy shadowing.